On to Australia now. It has decided to say goodbye to the Queen in its own way. It will replace the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on its $5 banknotes. And this is bad news for King Charles III. After the Queen's demise, it was his chance to appear on these dollar bills. But you see, Australia has different plans. The country wants to honor its indigenous culture and history. It plans to design the new $5 banknotes featuring indigenous figures. The new bills will take several years to be designed and printed. The old ones will continue to be issued and exchanged in the meantime. The central bank's decision has been supported by the centre-left government of Australia. It has also been welcomed by the Aboriginal politicians and the community leaders. But at the same time, it has also rekindled the debate about republicanism in Australia. Some are lauding the change, while others are calling it a woke nonsense. You see, Australia has a complicated history with the monarchy. It still struggles to resolve its dark past and the Crown's role in it. Although Australia is independent, it still remains a constitutional monarchy with King Charles III as its head of state. The role is largely ceremonial, but it is symbolic of monarchs holding a position of power. So is Australia trying to assert its independence through this move? Voters narrowly chose to maintain the Queen as its head of state in a 1999 referendum. But the situation is quite different now. And the biggest reason behind that is the death of Queen Elizabeth. You see, she was considered to be the strongest bond between Australia and the royal family. King Charles does not enjoy the same affection or support. Many Australians do not like the idea of having an unelected king on their currency, that too in place of First Nations leaders and other eminent figures. A lot of residents also think that the head of the state should be an Australian, someone who belongs to the country, who is one of them, instead of a monarch with a dark history of colonialism. In fact, a recent survey by Oxford suggests fewer Australians favour the status quo regarding the monarchy than in the past. 31% said they were in favour of retaining the monarchy. This was down from 54% in the last official referendum in 1999. The Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, is a long-standing Republican. He favours an eventual move to an Australian republic. His centre-left Labour government pushes for a referendum to alter the constitution, and the change would recognise Indigenous people in the document. It would also let them have a say in decisions that affect their lives. And in such an environment, the decision to remove monarchs from $5 banknotes is being applauded. The Australian Republic movement is quite happy about it. But it has also triggered criticism. The absence of the monarch from the bill indicates a stealth government effort to impose republicanism on Australia. And Australia's right-wing opposition is calling this move an attack on the country's systems, society, institutions. Philip Benwell, the leader of the Australian Monarchist League, was even harsher in his criticism. In a statement, he implied that the Premier Albanese was working assiduously to topple King Charles. The allegations were disputed by the government. It believes that the decision would strike a good balance. And why is that? Because Australian coins already carry Queen Elizabeth's image. New coins will have the effigy of King Charles, and first Australians will now be recognised on the $5 note. So it is a win for everyone. However, it is overlooking the fact that much of Australia's currency already features Indigenous Australian figures and artworks. While Queen Elizabeth's portrait was only present on $5 bills. In September, Australia said the image of her successor would not automatically appear on the notes, meaning that no monarch would remain on Australia's paper currency. And this comes as many Australians still see the monarchy as an important symbol of stability. At the very heart of all of this are crucial questions about Australia's identity. According to recent estimates, First Nations people lived in Australia for at least 65,000 years before British colonization. But when the Queen's reign started, Aboriginal Australians were not even counted as part of the population. The Queen's death last year already triggered many emotions. While many mourned her, others experienced a renewed sense of trauma. You see, they still carry the painful legacy of colonization. The royal family played a huge role in their displacement. It inflicted violence on them. So the change in the currency design could be an empowering move for the first Australians, no matter how much the monarchists criticize this. WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.